जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Saturday and it is the 22nd of March and it is the Vishnu Masa or Chaitra Masa, Krishna Paksham Ashtami Tithi. So there is one Vaishnav today. So today is the appearance day of Srivasa Pandita. So we shall read a few lines from the special Vaishnava days about Srivasa Pandita. So this is the glorious appearance day of Srivasa Pandita. So here is the fifth member of the Panchatattva and the leader of the devotees. So Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So here are some helpful quotes about him from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter 1, verse 38. There are innumerable devotees of the Lord, of whom Srivasa Thakura is the foremost. I offer my respectful obeisances thousands of times unto their lotus feet. And Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 374 to 75. Shri Nityananda Goswami is directly Haladhara, Lord Balarama, and Advaita Acharya is the personality of Godhead himself. These two captains, with their soldiers such as Srivas Thakura, travel everywhere, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And the fourth Adilila, fourth chapter, 2 to 7 to 2 to 8. Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, Srivasa Pandita, Gadadhar Pandita, Swarupa Damodara, Murari Gupta, Haridas Thakura, and all other devotees of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, bowing down with devotion, I hold their lotus feet on my head. So that author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches us that we must offer our respectful obeisances to all such pure confidential devotees of Lord Chaitanya, if we indeed want to know him in truth. In chapter 5, 144 to 145, his elders such as Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, and Srivas Thakura, as well as his other devotees, whether his juniors, equals, or superiors, are all his associates who help him in his pastimes. Lord Gauranga fulfills his aims with their help. So there are again a few points that wherever Srivas Thakur, Srivas Pandita is existing, I shall read that one as well. Srivasa, Haridasa, Ramadasa, Gadadhara, Murari, Mukunda, Chandrasekhara, and Vakreshwara are all glorious and are all learned scholars, but the sentiment of servitude to Lord Chaitanya makes them mad in ecstasy. There are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord, headed by Srivas Thakura, who are known as unalloyed devotees. The two brothers, Srivasa Pandita and Sri Rama Pandita, started two branches that are well known in the world. In Gauradesh Deepika, Srivasa Pandita or Srivasa Thakur is described as an incarnation of Narada Muni, and Sri Rama Pandita, his younger brother, is said to be an incarnation of Parvata Muni, a great friend of Narada's. Srivasa Pandita's wife, Marini, is celebrated as an incarnation of the nurse Ambika, who fed Lord Krishna with her breast milk, and as already noted, his niece Narayani, the mother of Thakura Vrindavanadasa, the author of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, was the sister of Ambika in Krishna Leela. We also understand from the description of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata that after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's acceptance of the sannyas order, Srivasa Pandita left Navadvipa possibly because of feelings of separation and domiciled at Kumarahatta. So, and offering our humble obeisances to Sri Srivasa Pandita, whose appearance day is today. And Lord Chaitanya performed many pastimes in Srivas Thakura's house, and it was from here when the Kaji's men broke the Mridanga drum during a kirtana. that the Sankirtana movement began. From Srila Prabhupada's introduction to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, after offering obeisances to the disciplic succession, the author pays obeisances to all other devotees, to the Lord Himself, to His incarnations, to the expansions of Godhead, and to the manifestation of Krishna's internal energy. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes called Krishna Chaitanya, is the embodiment of all of these. He is God, Guru, devotee, incarnation, internal energy, and expansion of God. As his associate Nityananda, he is the first expansion of God. As Advaita, he is an incarnation. As Gadadhara, he is the internal potency. And as Srivasa, he is the marginal living entity in the role of a devotee. Thus, Krishna should not be thought of as being alone, but should be considered as externally existing with all his manifestations, as described by Ramanujacharya. In the Visishtadvaita philosophy, God's energies, expansions, and incarnations are considered to be oneness in diversity. In all other words, God is not separate from all of these. Everything together is God. Okay, this is about Srivasa Pandita. So he is the Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Surupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Sektikam. So he is the Bhakta. Okay, so in such a way, Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami offering his obeisances. Okay, this is about it, and I shall forward these details into WhatsApp group later on. That is from the events perspective. So we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Vidura is inquiring from Uddhava about well-being of the Yadu family. So inquired about Krishna, Vasudeva, and then Pradyumna, and then Ugrasena, Sambha, Satyaki, likewise, and then Devaki Devi. Likewise, different personalities he was asking one after another. So yesterday he was asking about well-being of Devaki Devi. Kashyasyavam Devaka Bhojaputriya Vishnu Prajaya Iva Devamatuhu Yavai Swagarbhena Dadara Devam Triyata Yajna Vitanamadham. So giving an analogy comparing um, so Devaki Devi previously, she was Aditi Mata. She gave birth to all the Adityas. Of course, here Vishnu is also the son of Aditi Mata. In the similar way, she has given birth to Krishna. Swagarbhena Dadara Devam in her within from her womb. Devaki Devi, just like all the Vedas, they have got the essence of all the needed for the humanity. Yata yajna vitanam adham, the prayojana. So Vedas fulfill the prayojana of the entire universe, entire cosmic manifestation. Indeed, it has details of it. Yata yajna vitanam adham. In such a way, uh, Vidra is inquiring from Uddhava. And today, so next personality is about the Aniruddha. Aniruddha is the son of Pradyumna and grandson of Krishna. Um, so he's asking, and also he is the deity of the control of the mind, and from whose breath even Rigveda mantra also came out, and who is also the cause of the Mahavishnu. So likewise, Vidra is inquiring about Aniruddha from Uddhava. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 1, verse number 34. अपि स्विदास्ते भगवान् सुकुम्भो यः सात्वतां कामधुगो अनिरुद्धः Yem amananti sma hi siddhayonim manomayam sattvaturiyatatvam apisvid aste bhagavan sukamvo apisvid bhaste. So whether apisvid also api also swid whether aste, so does he, who is that Bhagavan Sukamvo, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sukam, and all happiness of Vaha is you, of you, Sukamvo, and yes, Satpatam Kamadhugo, and one who is source of all desires of the devotees, source of all desires of the devotees, Satpatam Kamadhugo, Aniruddha, who is Aniruddha. Later on, the subject is mentioned. The plenary expansion, Aniruddha. Yeh Satpatam Kamadhugo Aniruddha. Yem Amananti Smahi Sabdhayonim. Yem Amananti. And whom Amananti they accept Sma from your, he definitely Shabdayonim, the cause of the Rigveda. Shabdayonim, Manomayam, and the creator of the mind. And Sattva Turiya Tattvam. Sattva is transcendental. Turiya, the fourth expansion, Tattvam in principle. When the Lord expands as the Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, and each personality is the Vasudeva is for the pure consciousness, and Sankarshana is for the ego, Ahankara, and Pradyumna is the deity for the intelligence or the Buddhi, and Aniruddha is the Lord of the mind. And where all kinds of desires, yat sankalp vikalpabhyam vartate kama sambhavaha. Yada hi anuruddhakyam priti krishikanam adishwaram. So Sarad Indivarasyamam Samrajyam Yogibihi Sanaihi. So likewise, so it is mentioned about Aniruddha in the Bhagavatam and also later in other scriptures as well. So here he is asking about that Aniruddha. Manomayam Sattva Turiya Tattvam is the fourth principle of the Chaturvyuha. Apisviddaste Bhagavan Sukumvo, Yah Satpatam Kamadugo Aniruddhaha, Yem Amananti Smahi Sabdhayonim, Manomayam Sattva Turiya Tattvam. Translation for this shloka. May I inquire whether Aniruddha is doing well? He is the fulfiller of all the desires of the pure devotees and has been considered from yore to be the cause of the Rigveda, the creator of the mind, and the fourth plenary expansion of Vishnu. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Sanchita Mataji to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna. Adi Chaturbhuja, the original expansion from Baladeva, are Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. All of them are Vishnu Tattvas, or non-different personalities of Godhead. In the incarnation of Sri Ram, all these different expansions appeared for particular pastimes. Lord Ram is the original Vasudeva, and his brothers were Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Aniruddha is also the cause of Mahavishnu, from whose breathing the Rig Veda appeared. All this is nicely explained in the Markandeya Purana. In the incarnation of the Lord Krishna, Aniruddha appeared as a son of the Lord. Lord Krishna in Dwarka is the Vasudeva expansion of the original group. The original Lord Krishna never leaves Golok Vrindavan. All the plenary expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and there is no difference in their potency. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here, this is the Adi Chaturvyuha. Okay, this is the Adi Veda Chaturvyuha, the original expansion from Baladeva. So in the Goloka Vrindavan, so Krishna is the original personality. He expands himself as Baladeva, And this Baladeva or Balaram, he expands into Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, the four principles. So Vasudeva in the Bhagavatam, it is described very nicely in the 26th chapter of 3rd canto. So there, here it is, Yattat Sattva Gunam Swacham Shantam Bhagavatah Padam Yadahu Vasudevakyam Chittam Tad Mahadatmakam. So this is Vasudevakyam Chittam Tad Mahadatmakam. It is the consciousness, pure consciousness. That is Vasudeva. And here that Vasudeva is the deity for that. Pure consciousness, which is not contaminated. That is Swachatvam Avikaritvam Santatvam iti chetasaha Vrittibihi lakshanam proktam yatapam prakritihi para. Just like water, a rainwater, before it touching the ground, how it is pure. Likewise, the consciousness, unless before it was contaminated by the material things, it is pure. That is Vasudeva. And then Sankarshana, he is the deity for the Ahankara. Sahasra Sirasam Sakshat Yam Anantam Prachakshate Sankarshanakyam Purusham Bhutendriya Manomayam. This is the Sankarshana. So he is the Bhutendriya Manomayam. And Sahasra Sirasam Sakshat, he is Yam Anantam Prachaksha. Sankarshanakyam. He is the Sankarshana, second personality, who is the Lord of the Ahankara. Sankarshanakyam Purusham Bhutendriya Manomayam. And he exhibits in the activities like Kartrutvam, Karanatvam, Cha, Karyatvam, Cheti Lakshanam, Santa Ghora Vimudatvam, Iti Vasyad Ahankrutehe. This is called Ahankuriti. Santa, he exhibits in the different moods like the Shanta, Ghora, Vimudha. So by the different activities like Katrutvam, Karanatvam, Cha, Karyatvam, Cheti Lakshanam, by these symptoms, Lakshanam. So that is Itivasyad Ahankuritehe. That is the Sankarshana. Sankarshana is the deity for that one, the ego. And next one is the Sankarshana, and then Pradyumna he is the lord of the intelligence. But here from Aniruddha perspective, it is described like the way this mind is coming from the mode of goodness. Vaikarika vikurvana manah tattvam ajayata yat sankalpa vikalpabhyam vartate kama sambhavaha. This is manaha tattvam ajayata. This mind born out of the goodness, and where this mind is the place for sankalpa vikalpabhyam. And yat viduhihi anuruddhakyam. It is known by the anuruddhakyam krushikanam adishwaram. Sarad Indivarasyavam Samrajyam Yogi Bihi Sanaihi. So yogis, they meditate on the Aniruddha. Samrajyam Yogi Bihi Sanaihi gradually while they engage themselves in the meditation. And who is the Lord of this mind? So that is the Aniruddha. So about Pradyumna, he is the he is the deity of the intelligence. And Thais, again, he is the source for this mode of passion as well. So, Taijasattu Vikurvana Buddhihi Tattvam Abhutsati Dravyaspurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugrahaha. He will give intelligence. You spend this one, engage your senses like this. Dravyaspurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugrahaha. How to engage this? The senses. So, that intelligence. And this is, and also what by intelligence samsayo ata viparyaso nishchayah smritir evacha. By this intelligence one can hesitate to do it, or he can just proceed with it, and he was determined to do it. Smritirihi evacha. So likewise, these are different kinds of symptoms coming from the intelligence. That intelligence, for that intelligence, Pradyumna is the deity for that. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So this is the consciousness, Ahankara, Buddhi, mind. These are the deities of the expansion. The pure soul, it is the source of everything. That is the how it expands further. So in the Goloka Vrindavana, from Krishna, this Chaturvyuha expands. And how do we understand in this material world? If we take as a small particle of Krishna, we are Mamayvamsa Jivaloke Jivabhutaha Sanatanaha. Manasastadindriyani Prakriti Karshati. We are all amshas of the Lord. How this is? Here also we could see, but here in the contaminated state. Our consciousness is not clear, it is contaminated. And our ego is false ego. Our intelligence is contaminated, mind is contaminated. We are also having these four symptoms. We could see, and the spirit spark, which is the pure, it is not its symptoms exhibited in these four things. But here we are also a part of the Lord. When Krishna says Mamayvamshu, but here it is contaminated state. But whenever we are just engaging and focusing all using all these different symptoms and looking at only the life force, then we are this is inward vision. Then we will focus on to the supreme personality of God. This is ourself, and we are all eternal servants of the Lord. We belong to the spiritual world. That is how these all of our symptoms will, once these are purified, this consciousness and ahankara, instead of false ahankara, it will become true ahankara. What is that true ahankara? That is, I am the servant of the Lord. And what is the Vasudeva, the consciousness? It is Krishna consciousness. And what is the Pradyumna or the intelligence? That is saying that I have to engage all my intelligence in the service of the Lord. And what is Aniruddha or the mind? That is the place for to fulfill the desires of Krishna. See, that is very beautifully explains this Chaturvyuha. Say all of them are Vishnu Tattvas, or different or non-different personalities of Godhead. In the incarnation of Sri Rama, and so there, all these different expansions appear for particular pastimes. This is about, I think, Ramachandra. And Ramachandra is the original Vasudeva, and his brothers were Sankashna, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna. So there are also these expansions of the Chaturvyuha. Aniruddha is also the cause of Mahavishnu, from whose breathing Rigveda has appeared. So this is it. And all this is nicely explained in the Markandeya Purana. Okay, and in the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Aniruddha appeared as son of Lord. This is son of Pradyumna. And Lord Krishna in Dwaraka is the Vasudeva expansion of the original group. This one, Krishna also spoke this one to Brahma and all other demigods in the Goloka Vrindavana. So once upon a time, in the past times, when all Brahma, along with all other Lord Shiva and Dharma, and they have approached in Krishna in the Goloka Vrindavana. So in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, in the Prakriti Kanda, in the Sri Krishna Janma, that Sri Krishna Janma Kanda, there emergence of Krishna. So he comes from the effulgence. At the time, all are waiting for Krishna to be exhibited himself. Then they waited for some time, and after their prayers, Krishna he takes out all his glaring effulgence, and then he appears to them, and then they glorify so much of conversations. Then Krishna says that started speaking. So during that time, Narayana, along with Saraswati, goddess of fortune, Mahalakshmi, he goes in a chariot to the Goloka Vrindavana in a very beautiful chariot. That chariot, there are 5 chariots. Krishna has got 5 chariots. He gave one to Narayana, one to Radha Devi. But so here Narayana comes on that particular chariot too, along with consorts Saraswati and Lakshmi Devi there. Again, very beautiful descriptions of those. And he merges, Narayana merges into the body of Krishna. And then after that, Vishnu, who is the maintainer of this universe, he also come in his chariot. And he also, while everyone are looking, and he also merges into the body of Krishna. Then, whenever Krishna speaks about the pastime. So you take birth in this Goloka Vrindavana. I manifest Goloka Vrindavana on that, and I manifest myself there. And Radha is going to take birth as the daughter of Rishabhanu. And then, like in that sequence, he says that Narayana in the Vasudeva expansion. So here, the original Lord Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavana. The plenary expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, there is no difference. He says that um, Narayana is going to carry out the activities in the Vasudeva expansion, that capacity, Vasudeva capacity. But Krishna never says that I am going to do it personally in the Dwaraka. He says that I always in the Goloka Vrindavana. Okay, so this is how Prabhupada is explaining. So just giving you a little thing about that education. So it may be the time, otherwise we will miss Sanatana library, this one, Emergence of Krishna. So here, Puranas are there. Out of these Puranas, we have got that library. Where is Puranas? Then Brahma Vaivata Purana. So here in English, and then okay, so here Sri Krishna Janma Kanda. This is separate. There are four kandas: Brahma Kanda, Prakriti Kanda, Ganapati Kanda, Sri Krishna Janma Kanda. So out of this, it may be very nice for the devotees to look into it. So this is emergence of Krishna. So description of Goloka, abode of Krishna, emergence of Krishna. So in the emergence of Krishna, okay, I think it is very small, very difficult to read. Hare Krishna. So here, whenever Lord Krishna is speaking to, oh gods, you are my people, there is no doubt about it. There you come along and have your seats. So these demigods, they all go to their Goloka Vrindavana. Okay, just going to the point. Where the Lord Krishna is going to say that. mm, So here in the meantime, Rishabhan has this is about the Rishabhanu, about the Radhika, and then whenever the Lord is speaking about the Radha Devi, this is that Radha is going to take birth as a daughter of Rishabhanu, and here this is in the meantime this Narayana is coming on his chariot. This is the description of Narayana. I don't know if my laptop is not allowing me to read it properly. If you could read anyone, this is in the in that human being was seated, having dark complexion with charming appearance, holding Shank, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. He wore yellow lower garments and what is the Kirita crown and Kundala. So this is the beauty of the Narayana. So that description is continuing here. And then later he says she was holding lotus thousands petals. She was casting a side glance over Narayana, who was looking at her. So surrounded by his wives and the courtiers, the Lord descended at once from the chariot and reached the court of the cowards and covered dresses. All the covered dresses welcomed the Lord with folded hands, while the sages recited the pastimes from Samaveda, adoring him at the same time. Narayan, after reaching that place, merged his body into the body of Lord Krishna, which surprised all those present there. So this Brahmavayata Mahapurana, so here Narayana Rishi is out of Naranarayana. Narayana Rishi is speaking to Narada Muni about the pastimes of the Goloka Vrindavana. So, in the meantime, descending from the chariot, the Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe, also descended from the chariot of gold. He had four horns and was decorated with a long garland of he was clad in, and this Lord also, uh, so he also merged himself into the body of Lord Krishna, the spouse of Radhika. The sight further surprised all the people. So this is Narayana, Vishnu, all are entering into the body of Krishna. And also here, Narayana speaks about himself out of Naranarayana. So Narayana, he says that I am at the feet of Krishna. He says that part as well. And after that, in this particular, my eyes are burning to read this one. It is so tiny. Um, so here the Lord says that about the pastimes and who is going to take birth in where. Those pastimes are here. Maybe we may have so many questions. So here, if we read this part, um, so Krishna is going to explain. Sri Krishna said, Kamadeva would be born as the son of Rukmini. He would be married with Mayavati, the daughter of Sambhasura, who would be the reflection of Sati. You will be the born to her and will be known by the name of Aniruddha. And Bharati would be born as the daughter of Banasura in Soditapura. That is Usha. Okay, so this is again past tense. Who is going to take birth with which what name, and also Sank. Where is that? Okay, the Lord of the universe would be born from the womb of Rohini. He would be known also with the name of Sankashana because the fetus would be drawn from the womb of Devaki and transplanted into the womb of Rohini by means of illusion. In the land of Bharata, Kalindi, the daughter of Surya, would be born out of the race of the Ganga. Out of the race of the Ganga, with half of her Amsha. Tulasi would be born as the princess Lakshmana, Krishna's wife. Savitri, the mother of the Vedas, would be born as the daughter of Nagnajit and would be known with her name of Satya. And Vasundhara would be born as Satyabhama. This is again, Satyabhama is the Amsha of Bhudevi or Vasundhara. And Saraswati would be born as uh, Saivya, and Rohini would be born as the princess named Mitravinda, and Sanya, the wife of Surya, would be born as Ratnamala by her ray, or Ratnamala of Jagat Swami, and then this again. Susila would be born as the Amsha of Swaha, besides 9 other ladies, including Rukmini. Durga would be born from the uh, half of her Amsha as Jambavati. These would be the 10 chief queens, the names of whom are given by me. Parvati, from half of her Amsha, would be proceed to the house of Jambavan. This had been ordained by Shiva himself at uh, Kailasa Kailasa for Parvati. He had said, again, there is a pastime of this one, how Parvati is going to take birth when Parvati once desiring like the adoring the beauty of Vishnu. So at the time, Lord Shiva also says that one. Okay, so this is how each and everyone take birth in the Goloka Vrindavana. And Krishna says that I'm going to manifest this Goloka Vrindavana. Uh, where is that one? That part. Uh, I think it would be beautiful when you just read in your own time, but here I'm just bringing the essence of it, only the main point that how the Lord is going to appear, because what it means to us, it is not only happening in the Puranas or Bhagavatam, because it is a reflection. We are part and parcel. How this mind, intelligence, ego, and the consciousness It is every day we exhibit these symptoms in our day-to-day activities. That means what it means, we are the spirit spark and we are at the contaminated state. That is the reflection and how they needs to be engaged and to be purified. When we understand all these things, then we come to the pure consciousness. Yatapam prakritihi paraha. We understand that we do not belong to this material world, we belong to the spiritual world. Okay, so this, okay. So this is about Krishna is mentioned, is okay here. Okay, this one is, this is the Radha, and then, oh, beautiful, reaching there, you enter the womb of Kalavati. So here, Kirtida Devi's name, like Kalavati, is mentioned here, and remain there for 9 months, shedding your from take form of Vishnu, and then appear before universe at the time. But you emerge from the womb of Kalavati in the form of an infant without verbs, and this is about Radha Devi. And then later on, Krishna is saying about the O Radhika, I myself moved to the Madhura, uh, keeping all my coward friends in Gokula. This is again when Krishna is departing from there. Krishna is giving the small, in a nutshell, what is going to happen in the Vrindavana. So all these things, O Narada, the speaking Lord Krishna kept quiet. Therefore, all gods and goddesses besides the cowards and cowardices also stayed there. So he says all these things. Krishna says all these points to demigods before anything happened on the earth. Okay, likewise, it's a summary of it. If you read it very detailed, I could not read it from here from the laptop. If it is the mobile, then we could read it very nicely while sharing the screen. Due to the zooming, some kind of restrictions here, it looks. Okay, so that is the Chaturvyuha. So here that what it means, the original Lord Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavana. That is the main thing. And whatever happening to our body in this one, it is only the carried out by Prakritehe karmani gunehi karmani sarvashaha ahankar vimudatma kattaham iti manyate. But actually we are simply sitting on a vehicle and which is just run by the material nature, and we are simply experiencing these pains and pleasures just like a, and time is the auxiliary energy of the Lord, and it based on, because the time is clicking, the vehicle is moving. If the time is stopped, nothing will move out. That's why he also says that kalos me in lokapchait kuru pravruddho. So that because of the time factor, everything carries out the creation and destruction and annihilation of this world. So that is the unmanifested form of the Lord, the time factor. And here we are simply came to this world to experience the pains and pleasures. But actually, this is a separated energy as a living entity. When we come in pure Krishna consciousness, we engage all our activities in the pure devotional service, thinking of only Krishna, thinking and utilizing intelligence only for Krishna, carrying out activities only for Krishna, thinking that we are part and parcel of Krishna. That way, when we are spiritualizing our body, spiritualizing our activities, that is complete Krishna. Then we are prepared to go back to Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. That is very beautiful to understand as well. It is very clear. Okay, so, but it is a personal reflection, everyone's journey according to their own reflections. So here, Vidura is inquiring about Aniruddha, who is the lord of the mind, and who, from whom this Rigveda has also came, and who is the source of Vishnu. Likewise, he is mentioning. Apisvid aste Bhagavan Sukumbo, yah satvatam kamadhugo Aniruddha, yam amananti sma hi sabdhayonim, manoyam sattva turiya tattvam. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions at this stage, please kindly ask questions. Sometimes it may be a bit tricky as well. When you get clarified this one, at least you will be free from the anxiety of these questions.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
So here is Krishna never leave the Golok Vrindavan. So is the earth where we have just now Golok Vrindavan or in the planet? Which Golok Vrindavan is talking?
So the original Lord Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavana. Goloka eva nivasati akilatma bhuto
So
govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
so where is established now? There is Vrindavan. Is that Vrindavan or the other Vrindavan, like Golok Vrindavan?
It is Goloka Vrindavana. And also one thing here, the time factor. One would need to understand time factor. There is time does not act. Pravartite yatra rajastamasayoho nayatra kala that is pravartite yatra rajastamayoho sattvam cha mishram na cha kala vikramah nayatra maya kim muta pare sura anurata yatra sura asura achitaha. So that is the description of the Vaikuntha plan. There is no time influence. There is no time influence. So Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavana. But it appears that he is in the Attali Vrindavana also performing his pastime. Here there is a Lord's another energy, that is the time factor that is ticking here, moving, and we are seeing that Lord's pastimes. Just like we are sitting in front of a TV and then playing forward, backward, but we are simply sitting there. We are watching, and but in the due course of, but time is not acting on us, but time is acting for the video. Likewise, Lord is performing his pastimes in the Atali Vrindavana as well. But at the same time, he is in the Goloka Vrindavana. There is no time influence on the Lord. So that is Goloka Eva Nivasati Akilatma Bhuto Govinda Madi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. So, but for us, we are influenced by the time factor. Everyone has got a body, birth, old age, disease, and death in due course of time. This material world means it is just like if we see some toys, and if we give a key to the toy and then just twist that key for some time and then we keep on the floor, it will just keep rotating and moving for some time and then it will stop as soon as that key is done. Likewise, this metal wall, it has given a key, the time factor, and then it is switched on, and this wall is running like that. And then Lord also, after creating that, he also enters personally, participates in the past tense. It is for ourselves to understand about our constitutional position and relationship with the Lord. But the Lord is always in the Goloka Vrindavana, and also he comes here into Atali Vrindavana, and there also he performs his pastimes.
Okay. So earthly Vrindavan also he never left. No deep.
Yes, so he is always in the Atali Vrindavana as well. And also one thing, always remember the time factor. Time does not influence Krishna. So in that understanding, no difference between Atali Vrindavana or also Goloka Vrindavana. It is manifested in that for our sake, for the materially embodied living entities.
Mm-hmm. And then you said Aniruddha is a mind god. What that exactly means?
So this is the symptoms of if we have got if we are a soul, we are a soul, and our the symptoms of soul can be exhibited. Vricha Lakshana. This is the Vricha Lakshana Chaturdha. It is mentioned there in the Bhagavatam. Vricha Lakshana through different symptoms, these are exhibited in the Samkhya philosophy. The 24 elements, 20 elements that we can clearly see that Panchabhutani, Tanmatras, Jnanendriyas, Karnendriyas, and mind, intelligence, and ego, and consciousness. These four are the subtle elements. Chaturdha lakshate bhedo, Vrutya Lakshana Rupaya, by their activities, they are categorized into mind, intelligence, consciousness, and ahankara. So here the mind, this is also in our experience. I like this one, I don't like this. I want this one, I don't want this one. These are all where they are coming from mind. Yat sankalpa vikalpabhyam. Yat sankalpa vikalpabhyam vartate kama sambhavaha. That is where the desires sprout out. For that one, that mind, yogis understands that yadahuhi anuruddhakyam. They decide that one, it is the aniruddha. So here we see from the Bhagavatam, yadahihi anuruddhakyam. Krushikanam Adishwaram, he is the lord of the Krushikanam. Krushikanam is the senses. Adishwaram, they're all under his control as well. Sarad Indivarasyamam Samradhyam Yogi Bhisanehi. So that is, he is the lord of the mind. And this Chaturvyuha, it is where we have got symptoms. That means, but because they are the expansions of the Lord. In Goloka Vrindavana, is Balarama's expansions like Vasudeva and Krishna and Pradyumna. And each deity is controlling one of these things. Consciousness. So consciousness is dominated by Vasudeva. But here we are in the contaminated consciousness. But in the pure Krishna consciousness, it is the Vasudeva Tattva. This is called Vasudeva Tattvam. Or Vasudevakyam Chittam Tad Mahadatmakam. Chittam is the consciousness, pure consciousness. So this is pure consciousness and pure ahankara and pure intelligence and pure mind. This is these four lords are the expansions of the Baladeva in the Goloka Vrindavana Adi Chaturvyuha. And we are here with our contaminated state. Karanam Gunasangasya. Karanam Gunasangasya, because we come in touch with this material world which is influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Because of that, we are not pure, not Krishna consciousness. So in our own false ego and false consciousness, like that. Does that answers your question, Mataji?
Yes, yeah, very nicely explained. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so any other questions, dear devotees, or we shall move to the next Srila Prabhupada's daily letter?
I just want to ask, like, when Uddhava, Akrura,
Yes.
why he has taken that money, like, and then he was, like, doing the charity work, and so why he has took from that money from Dwarka? Because he's the like,
Yes.
pure devotee.
Yes, that is again a very beautiful question, Mataji. Akrura, he was participated in that conspiracy in the Samantaka jewel. Because when he came to Vrindavana and for Krishna and Balarama to take to Vrindavan, to take to Madura on the instruction of Kamsa, at that time the gopis, they are feeling so much of separation from Krishna. And this Akrura is actually a Kurura, but he is taking Krishna from all of us, taking away Krishna from all of us. In such a way, they were rebuking Akrura, of course, not directly, but they were always thinking like that. So because of that, he was also got influenced by those things, it seems. The Jiva Goswami says that because of he hurt their feelings. So that's why he was participated in this conspiracy as well. And also, he here in terms of the pastimes, he did not like whenever Satyajit was insulting Krishna that Krishna, you might have taken this Samantaka jewel, and then uh, here Akrura and Krutavarmal did not like the Satyajit. So, and also Krishna wanted the Samantaka jewel, but Satyajit did not give that jewel to Krishna. In such a way, they had got a little kind of feeling that this Satyajit, what kind of person is this? And then they have encouraged even Satadanva to kill him. But that is how they participated. But later on, that we know that, and then Satyadanva gave that he went to the Krutavarma to give that Samantaka jewel and ask him for help so that he will escape from the wrath of Krishna. But Krutavarma says Krishna is not ordinary person. Krishna and Balram, the supreme personality of Godhead. I do not have energy to counteract. I cannot help you. He straight away says that one. And now Satyadanva he goes to Akrura. And Akrura also says the same thing, but he says that, and he gives the Samantika jewel to Akrura, and Satyadanva, he just climbing take a horse, and then he runs out from the Dwaraka. Of course, later on, Krishna carries him and then cut his head. That is other thing. But in due course of time, but Krishna did not find any Samantika jewel in the Satyadanva's in his either whenever he was going on a horse, in his chariot or horse or in his bags or something like that. But later on, Akrura, he has gone to Kasi, and then where he was performing all the sacrifices and giving in charity, so many things he is performing, and that country is so flourishing. And Krishna knows that on all these things, and then he mentions that um, some messenger go and just call Akrura, because how can Akrura was able to do all these things unless he has got Samantika jewel, and Samantika jewel is absent from Dwarka, and in due course of time in Dwarka also sometimes they see that people are bit diseased and they are not having good things like that. So understanding that, because whenever Samantika jewel was there in the Dwarka, everyone are happy and healthy because it influences as well. So those things Krishna personally says. And then once Akrura comes here to Dwaraka at the instruction of Krishna, call of Krishna, Krishna says personally speaking to Akrura, I know that you have got the Samantaka jewel. You cannot hide it because you are doing all these things. And also I know everything. So in later on, so just I wanted I do not have any desire to have Samantaka jewel, but there is kind of a misconception in the in our palace in the assembly about the Samantaka jewel, where it would have been. And then I will show it to everyone once and explain it, and then I will give it back to you. And then Akrura says, Akrura, he gives that Samantika jewel to Krishna, he shows to everyone. And then after that, even Satyabhama also does not have any hopes on that one, because her father was died and now she's no more interested with it. So likewise, later on, Krishna gave that Samantika jewel to Akrura. So it is a kind of gopis. He hurted the feelings of the gopis. That is what Jiva Goswami says.
So he gave it back to Akrura. Okay.
Sorry, Mataji.
So he gave it back to Akrura again.
Yes, yes. Krishna gave it back to Akrura. But we know only up to that point of time. But later on, we don't see much pastimes with that. What has happened after that?
But at the end, like this king has given back, isn't it, to Krishna that what his name, like Satyabhama's father has given to Krishna that even though before he was not willing to give, but then he gave it to him. Isn't it?
Yes, he was willing to give it, but Krishna says, no, I do not have any interest with the Samantika jewel. But he gave that Samantika jewel to Satyabhama. Anyway, he would like to give it to Satyabhama only. On that way, It is in the palace of Krishna only. Satyabhama is always
Very
worshipping
rich.
that one, and it is giving so much of gold. And again, we see another pastime, Sri Krishna Tulabharam. She uses all the gold which is given by Samantika Jewel to weigh Krishna's weight, something like that. We see another pastime is there. Yeah, but Samantika Jewel was in the palace of Satyabhama
Mhm. Yeah, but he is the queen now.
after the marriage. Yeah. And during that time, whenever Satadanva was killing Satrajit, it was happening during that time in the home of Satrajit, in the home of, in the palace of Satrajit. At that time, Satyabhama is also in the same palace. At that point of time, she might have gone to her father's house, or she might be, it may be the beginning of the marriages, so still she's at her father's house during that time while everyone were watching. So the Satadhanva come and kill Satrajit in front of all the palace women as well. So and then Satyabhama was crying, and then they do not want to cremate the body of Satrajit. She personally goes to Hastinapura and then to explain to Krishna, and then Krishna cries just like ordinary person. And then Krishna also says that how what has happened, unpleasant things. And then immediately Krishna comes here, and also Krishna pacifies Satyabhama, and then started chasing Satadhanva to kill him. Okay, this is pastimes. It's very beautiful to hear how Akrura and Satrajit, Satyabhama's desire. Okay, I hope that.
It explained in Krishna's book is in that.
Sorry, Mataji?
Krishna book is explained, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is in the Krishna book, and also some parts we can see from Mahabharata as well, just to make sure that we don't miss anything. But Srimad Bhagavatam contains the essence of all the required things. But Mahabharata is elaborated in a different pastimes. But yeah, Bhagavatam is almost essence, whatever we needed, devotees needed,
So
understanding.
reading Bhagavatam, we get all the essence. You don't need
Yes,
to read other book.
yeah, we don't have to read other things. Bhagavatam gives essence of it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam, very beautiful pastimes. Okay, we shall move to the Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Satswarupa, July 19th, 1970, Los Angeles. It is a tiny letter. Can I request anyone to read this letter? Sanchita Mataji, would you like to read this letter as well?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My dear Satswarupa, please accept my blessing. So far, it is fixed up that I go to New Vrindavan for Janmashtami day by the 20th August. So if you like, I can go for a few days before to Boston to see your temple and press. You can fix up this program by talking to Hayagriva and let me know. I think everything is going nicely in Boston. Offer my blessings to all the boys and girls. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so yeah, mm, mm, it's only about Prabhupada's communication about his travel to America. I think he, before going to New Vrindavan for Janmashtami, he wanted to visit. His disciples, they wanted him to come to Boston and see how the press is going. They had taken so much effort to set up the press, which were printing all the books, Srila Prabhupada books, and they had desire for, like Satswarupa, he's saying, like, please come to Boston to see the press and the temple, how the boys and girls are working. So Prabhupada said if you can arrange for his travel by talking to Hayagruva, and let him know how things are arranged so that he can go and meet, see everything by his own eyes in Boston. Yes, Prabhu, that's all. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Yes, so this is about the programs. Okay, any other comments? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. Okay, and from the updates point of view, so today evening we have got Chaitanya Charitamrita with Krishna Keshwar Prabhuji at 7 p.m. Okay, that is our upcoming event. Okay, and dear devotees, if you have got any other updates, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move on to the next part of our program. This Srimad Bhagavatam, Vaikuntha pastimes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I had a question from the Srimad Bhagavatam when we are reading. Like, why was the time factor created, like, which was not there in Golak Vrindavan when I mean, because we want the main thing we understand, like we everybody wanted to enjoy the anshas of Krishna. They wanted to enjoy life separately from Krishna. So Lord created this planet so that they can have like their desires fulfilled. But like in Golak Vrindavan, there is no time factor. But why is time factor created? Like it was added here for us. Why was that?
Here, if there is no time, we would stay in this material world, always experiencing these troubles, dukkha, laim, ashashvatam. Do we want it to stay here? So we do not want to stay in the dukkha, laim, always staying here with all people of this contaminated material world means it is contamination. So that's why for everything, matra sparshasthu kaunteya, sitoshna sukha dukkada, agamapayuna anityaha, tantitikshasva bharata. This is once one has to simply tolerate and then understand uh, that point and the relationship with Krishna, just go back. And for here, just simply tolerate. In due course of time, you will go back. If I think that I'm not going to die here in this material world, what happens? And everyone come here, everyone will become rebellious and everyone become demoniac. It influences that kind of that angles. So it is what I personally understand from myself and why Lord has put the time factor, that one in the Sri Brahma Samhita. So here, let me just show the time, past time. So this is the time's auxiliary energy, sending his, okay, let us see this one. Maya Ramamanasya Navyogaha Taya Saha Atmana Ramayareme Chaktakalam Sisrukshaya. So Krishna, would you like to read this, Mataji? So, it is a small translation and purport as well.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Krishna never consorts with his illusory energy. Still, her connection is not entirely cut off from the absolute truth. When he intends to create the material world, the amorous pastime in which he engages by consorting with his own spiritual chit potency, Rama, by casting his glance at the deluding energy in the shape of sending his time energy, is an auxiliary activity. The illusionary energy has no direct contact with Krishna, but has got indirect contact. Vishnu, the prime cause lying in the causal ocean, the plenary portion of Mahasankarshana, who has his seat in Mahavaikuntha in the sphere of Krishna's own extended transcendental pastime, casts his glance towards the deluding energy. Even in casting his glance, he has no contact with the deluding energy, because the spiritual Chit potency of Rama then carries the function of his glance uh, as his unpolluted, ever submissive potency. The deluding energy has, as the maid servant of the spiritual Chit potency Rama, serves the manifested plenary portion of the Godhead concerted with Rama. The time energy represented the force of activity and instrumentality of Rama. Hence, there is found the process of masculinity or the creative force. Srila Prabhupada ki
So
jai.
here, Rama, it is the Rama Devi is the goddess of fortune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Prabhu, sorry, because that makes sense. I was thinking, like, why is it? Okay. Now. Yes, thank you, Prabhu, for correcting.
Yeah, she is the spiritual potency. So Lord does not come in contact with Maya. So, and here, how Maya is here. So whenever there is again beautiful picture of it. Whenever Mahavishnu glances on the Rama Devi, and then their Maya comes into the picture in the Goloka Vrindavana picture. Where is that one chart? That Goloka chart, we see the beautiful chart. It's one very big document. So here, Mahavishnu, he is glancing on the Rama Devi. So that is the main part that one understands. And then whenever after Rama Devi, and here Maya Devi is here, that is Durga Devi. And then Durga Devi is associating with the Lord's time energy. That is his auxiliary energy of the Lord. This is called auxiliary activity. So here it says, he engaged by concerting with his own spiritual potency, Rama, by casting his glance at the deluding energy in the shape of sending his time energy is an auxiliary activity. So here, once this one Maya is done, and then these universes are all Daivat Chupita Dharminyan. Swasyam Yonah Parapuman Adatya Viryam Sasota Hiranmayam Mahatattvam Hiranmayam. So later on, these all the living entities who are wanted to enjoy, so they will come in groups together, and then they put up into the Mahatattva. It wraps up each and every group of souls, and then make them like a big egg cell, Brahmanda, gigantic egg. And then Lord expands himself as Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and each egg cell, how it forms. Here, this is the Devi Dhama. So here, when we see here, it is the Devi Dhama, all this material world. And each new universe has got a time energy. And once this time is done, this one annihilated. So that is the separate energy of the Lord. This is in which he concerting his spiritual drama by casting glance at the deluding energy in the shape of sending his time energy. It is the 25th element of the Sankhya philosophy. And so, for example, in our mathematics, we see A equal to A plus B whole square equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. It doesn't have time in it. It is simply a formula. These are the static things. If I wanted to understand, for example, the car is moving, so it is associating with the time and speed and then activity, some weight or something like that. Wherever this time is putting there is activity is being taken place. Wherever there is no time, there is no activity there. That is our experience. So one is the theoretical thing and one is the practical, the activity is going on. So here, this material world, whenever this time is putting, Lord is sending his time energy, then it is an auxiliary energy. So he is giving a key to that toy and then twisting the key with his time energy, and then that one keep going on. So this universe is going for a How many years the Brahma's lifespan? If 1 day of Brahma is daytime is 4.3 billion years, nighttime is also 4.3. So 1 day is 8.6 billion years. Likewise, he lives for his months, his years, like that 100 years of his time, 311 trillion years. So that is that time that universe activities keep on going. That is a twisted part. The twisting the key. The time energies keep on working until that point, until this gets annihilated. But time still it keeps on going on. There is no, it is anadi adikrud avyayaha. Avyayaha, it is the unmanifested form of the Lord. So ananto antah kalaha anadi adikrud avyayaha janam janena janayan marayan mrityunantakam. So this one, again, Kapila Bhagavan says something like that at the time. So I think somewhere here. Okay, I think this might be. Yeah, so Ananto Antaha Kalaha Antaha Antah Karaha Kalo Anadi Adikrud Avyayaha Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityunantakam. The eternal time factor has no beginning and no end. It is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maker of the criminal world. See? Some of the points, criminal world. It brings about the end of the phenomenal world. It carries on the work of the creation by bringing one individual into existence from another. And likewise, it dissolves the universe by destroying even the Lord of Death, Yamaraja. So this time is from the Brahm Samhita, we understand that in the shape of sending his time energy. So here it is. Maya Ramamanasya na viyogaha taya saha. Na viyogaha taya saha. So Lord does not come in contact with Taya. That is the Maya Devi. Her. That is Maya. Maya Ramamanasya. That is illusory energy. So that's why he sends Atmana Ramaya Remi. He is always enjoying with the chit potency of the Lord. Rama Devi, goddess of fortune. There is no time factor with the Rama Devi as well. And she is internal potency of the Lord. When he glances on her, and the Chakta Kalam Sisrukshaya. Kalam. This is the Chakta Kalam. By casting his glance in the shape of sending his time energy. Sisrukshaya with the desire to create. So whenever the time ticking on that universes, okay, starting and then carrying on, creation, maintenance, and destruction keep on going, birth, old age, disease, and death. It is the again here Prabhupada is mentioning about that one. It is the maker of the criminal world. So time is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maker of the criminal world.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you for explaining. So, is it like defined for 100 Brahma years? Is it like that? Like we have 14 Manvantaras. So is it defined till that time? I mean, of course, is it 14 Manvantaras is one, I forgot, Prabhu, is it one Kalpa or?
One day of Brahma.
One day of Brahma. So like, is it defined till 100 days of Brahma, that the whole manifestation of this
Yes.
criminal world, if you can say, like, is it defined till that time, right?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
After that, Brahma, he leaves his body because he carried out all Krishna's orders. He will go back to Godhead only directly because he's exalted personality, devotee of the Lord. But he will also die. And again, this universe just merge back into this Mahatattva. Again, all elements. Likewise, when we are going to the beach and we make so many castles with the small sand, and then once we are coming out and this water washes away, everything will be merged back into the Mahatattva, into normal sand. Similarly.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's so bewildering just to even our life, it seems like, even if we say 70 to 80 years, it seems so long. And then when we try to understand Brahma's life, it's like mind cannot perceive all that, and then following Krishna's order to just let uh, us enjoy. That's like amazing. So much to learn. Hare Krishna. Thank you for throwing light and explaining it very nicely. And Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Even demigods, by looking at our earthly people, these are earthly people always suffering with so much of unnecessary things. I wanted to go to this school. I wanted to go to this work. I wanted to earn money. I wanted to buy this house and do these things. Always making plans in so many things just for 100 years, not even 100 years with diseases. And they always look at them and think that what kind of creatures are these? Demigods. But when it comes to Krishna, when it comes to Brahma, so it is very higher level. Mm. It is so bewildering, as you mentioned. It is bewildering for us. Even to it is um, when Krishna was explaining in the second chapter about the soul and how it is the uh, symptoms are characteristic of the soul and the living. And this one, Kapil Bhagavan explains very beautifully in the 30th chapter about the activities of the living entity. That is, it in a summary, he will going traversing through all the living entities. So in the 30th chapter. So, and then after going through all of these things, he will come back to cleanse himself in the due course of time. Having gone through all the miserable, hellish conditions and having passed in a regular order through the lowest forms of animal life prior to human birth, and having thus been purged of his sins, one is reborn again as a human being on this earth. So here, before that, starting from the beginning, how a living entity is created and how he suffers with the pains and pleasures. And here, yam yam adhamupadate dhuken sukhetave tam tam dhunoti bhagavan puman sochit yat krute. He tries to accumulate material things, and then uh, he feels that he is he wanted to enjoy, but he is going through dukkena, sukhahetave. I wanted to enjoy later on. I wanted to accumulate money, enjoy, but at the moment he is suffering that he does not recognize. In the future, I will be happy after earning money, putting money in the bank, and making children, get married, them, and then I will be happy. But he is going through all dukkha, but he thinks that it is sukhahetave. See, whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Lord, Supreme Personality, as the time factor, destroys. Tam tam dhunoti Bhagavan. And then, uh, Puman sochit yet krute. And then he will, whatever accumulated in due course of time with so much of labor and hard, in due course of time, it will be also vanished, but he cannot enjoy everything. His body does not cooperate to eat something. His teeth is falling, and his senses are not working properly. His eyesight is not working, and he cannot walk properly, and he cannot speak properly. He cannot enjoy all those things, though he has got enough money and all those things. So this is Puman Sochit Yat Krute, and he will suffer. And he has got BP, sugar, and blood pressure, so many things. He worries. Always the doctor says so many things. You don't eat, don't do this, always you do this exercise and all those things. In such a way, Puman Sochit Yat Krute. This is explaining how the humans are suffering in this criminal world. These living entities, or they wanted to enjoy unlawful desires. That's why the Prabhupada is mentioning this is the criminal world. So here, what is that one? The creator of the criminal world. Which where did we see that one? Yes, this is the maker of the criminal world. So even demigods, they don't appreciate the humans. But however, even demigods, Brahma says that taking the human birth is very valuable and opportune, though it is suffering. But otherwise, if he takes a birth in the demigod society and if he does not have a pure devotional things towards Krishna, then he has to stay for that many number of years, 10,000 years, 20,000 years, and then again he comes down to this material world. But Brahma says that we are all desiring to come to this material world and then execute devotional service to Krishna, Tattvena, scientifically, and then go back to Godhead. But people are attracted to this material, temporary things. How bewildering it is. Likewise, Brahma says to demigods when he was explaining ये अभ्युतां च नो दुगतिं प्रपन्ना ज्ञानं च तत्त्वविषयं सह धर्मं यत्र ज्ञानं च विषयं सह धर्मं यत्र. So Brahma says these statements. Ye abhyutaamapi chano dugatim prapanna abhyaditam. So we pray for that. We also wanted to take a birth as a human so that jnanam cha tattva vishayam saha dharmam yatra. Jnanam cha tattva vishayam. What is tattva vishayam? Knowing about the relationship with the Lord. That is the tattva vishayam. Jnanam cha tattva vishayam saha dharmam yatra. Naradhanam bhagavato. Naradhanam. But people are, they are not taking to that one process. It is by the bewildering energy of the Lord, Brahma's statement. But it is very mansham janma durlabham. Durlabham manav janma. This is very rare opportunity. But at the same time, dukkalayam ashashvatam. Nothing is permanent. It is temporary. One has to understand that this is not permanent. If one thinks that it is permanent, what happens? Everyone again engages in the sinful activities. So that is temporariness. But Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, conception of the Mayavadis. But here, that is devotees, it is not Mithya, but it is true, but it is temporary. This is how it is temporary, because the time energy, it is working on it. Lord's separated energy. Time is the Lord's unmanifested form. कालकर्मगुणादीनो देहोयं पांचभौतिकः कथमन्यांस्तु गोपायत सर्पग्रस्तो यथा परम. It will swallow. It is in the term of, it is sarpagrasto. It is a time serpent. It will swallow everyone. It doesn't matter. Either child, old person, beautiful person, woman, man. It doesn't care about it. The time serpent swallow everyone. As soon as people took birth, it is already in the mouth of, everyone are already in the mouth of the time serpent. Prabhavam Paurusham Kalam Yeki Eto Bhayam. Everyone fear of the time factor. If there is no fear, how can they will become Krishna consciousness? The human society is being created, only giving an opportunity so that they will take to Krishna consciousness, come to Golok Vrindavan. That is the purpose. There is no other purpose than that. The time energy, it is Kalam Eki Eto Bhayam. It will make the fear in the heart of the criminals. Criminal souls. Kalam Eki Eto Bhayam.
Why is it called time as unmanifested form of Krishna? Is it because like he has engaged his servitors like Rama Devi and later Maya Devi and all to fulfill that path, like because he is directly not engaged? Is it because of that? Why is it called unmanifested?
Unmanifested means we do not see with the eyes, we do not see with the experience with the senses, but it is, we are feeling all those things by our senses. But how? By in that, how do I say? It is not having a personality, I would say, straight away. Personality in the sense, it is not a murti. Like the Bhagavan Shabda Gochara, he does not have a form that can be seen by the eyes.
Yeah, I understand. But if I know what you're trying to explain, but if we think that way, then we say that Lord's name and Lord's form, they are non-different. Name also, like we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but we do not see it, right? I mean, we hear the sound, as Bhagwan Shabda Gochara. It's in the sound, but we do not see it as a form. Of course, I mean, if it's written somewhere, we see it. But time also, like if it's written, like 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we see that. But I don't know. I forgot what I wanted to ask. I mean, is then Mahamantra also unmanifested or form of Lord? I'm just trying to understand, Prabhu, in context of time.
So here, so this is Bhagavad Gita. Lord says, "Kalosmi lokakshet kurut pravruddho." I am the time factor. And Prabhupada mentions, gives that one. Okay, there is. Okay, this is the devastating time in the Vedas. So here, Krishna presents himself in that form of all devouring time. Okay, let me just do that. Something else. Where is that? Okay, so I think here, okay, I think here it is explained that I am the Maitreya Rishi is there. Then he also explains that. So here in this one, Vishwam vai Brahma Tadmatram Samhitam Vishnuma Samsthitam Vishnumaya Ishwarena Paricharnam Kalena Avyakta Murtina unmanifested by such feature. So this is the third canto, chapter 10, where Maitreya Rishi is saying, speaking to Vidura. Would you like to read this translation, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. This cosmic manifestation is separated from the Supreme Lord as material energy, a means of Kala, which is the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Lord. It is situated as the objective manifestation of the Lord under the influence of the same material energy of Vishnu. It is situated in the it is situated as the objective manifestation. Lord.
So, and here this is,
Same Vishnu.
and Prabhupada is giving an analogy. It is something like tape recorded voice of a person who is now separated from your voice.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. Yes, this analogy makes, yeah. Prabhupada is a genius. Like, sometimes on our own we do not understand, but reading this and discussing it, yes, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing this. And what should I say about you? Prabhupada has made this and how much you study and then answer all our questions. So, yeah, sometimes we get stuck like sometimes tape recorder tapes also get stuck like that with queries, but these analogies make, like, from you do not have that intelligence to understand just by the shlokas, even the translation, the purports make it a human level and the human mind to understand it more clearly for what we can perceive. Yeah, because the voice gets separated from the tape recorder when it's in the tape. It's not the same thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. This is the
Sorry, I
time.
took a long time, Prabhu.
No, Mataji. So these are the necessary and important things because we live in the time. Time is ticking on our bodies. Every day we are running after the time. As soon as time comes, so now we are also again thinking time. We took time because we're speaking on the time itself. So it is essential. Every moment we are living on it. Knowing about the time is very, very important. Okay, so that's why that is the only thing making us to fear what happens at 8 o'clock, what happens 9 o'clock. I have to do this. If I don't eat it, my body is going to suffer. If I don't go there, people may think something like that. If I don't do, my children may be suffering. All things, time. Okay, so that time it is taking annihilating everyone's bodies. Ayur Haritivai Pumsam, Uddhanastam Chernaso, Tasyadya Chunonita Uttama Shloka Vataya, except the devotees of the Lord. It is annihilating everyone by the sunrise and sunset. So powerful time. Kalam Eki Yeto Bhayam. This is the 25th factor of the Sankhya philosophy. Prakritehi karmani gunaihi karmani sarvashaha. So this is again time energy and the three material modes of nature. And this material world, it is manifesting different bodies according to the consciousness of the living entities and running. And we are here and experiencing these pains and pleasures, sitting in a car and watching this one and that one. Okay, I am going in a good car. My car is going very fast. My car is going slow. I am enjoying everything. I am seeing nice things. But actually, we are not doing. Car is moving. Car is moving. But we, as a soul, we are simply sitting in a car and experiencing these pains and pleasures through the senses. Okay, so that is time. But in the Vaikuntha, there is no time factor. Sattvam cha mishram na cha kala vikramaha na cha kala vikram. There is no time influence that in the spiritual planets. Okay, because there is no time influence, no fear. There is no fear in the Vaikuntha planets.
Prabhu, I have one more question. Shall I leave it for next week or?
Yes, carry on, Mataji. Ask, share.
Prabhu, when in Golok Vrindavan, is it like when they were with let's say we were with the Lord, like of course not us, but many million lifetimes ago, but when these creatures, they were with the Lord, enjoying unlimited of everything, and they had this desires to enjoy separately from the Lord, but were they still in like human bodies? Why was this I mean, when this universe was created, why was it like we had to go through so many yonis, like of 8.4 million different yonis, to get a human life? Is it as a punishment that see how you feel? Because apart from human, the other creatures, they do not like commit as much sins, right? They only live their life as it is, like as a tree. They will fulfill whatever whatever they're meant to do. As animals also, they eat, sleep, mate, defend, and that's all. Like, but as humans, we have so many other things, and more sins are created. So why so many going through 8.4 million to get the human body?
So
Could I make myself clear, Prabhu? I mean,
yes, Mataji,
what I
yes,
want to
it is
ask was,
perfect.
in Golok Vrindavan, were we in human, I mean, with body, like human body, if I can use the word human, like as Lord was there, so all his, like, apsaras, the gandharvas, kiritas, and everybody, like if we had such kind of body, like human form, so then why go through all these 8.4 million and then get human body?
Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So this is why whenever in the Golok or in all are in the human bodies like that, they have got enough intelligence, but why they have fall down here in material world and going through all these levels of like a tree. Um, जीवा हि श्रेष्ठ अजीवाः ततः प्राणभृतः शुभे ततः ततः सचित्ता प्रवराः ततश्च इन्द्रियवृत्तयः तत्रापि स्पर्शवेदिभ्यः स्पर्शवेद स्पर्शवेदविदो वराः शब्दविदो तेषां शब्दविदो वराः. So something like that, Gandha and then Shabda and then Rupa Bheda Visatra Tatah Ubhayasya Todataha. It is kind of a sequence of the living entities. And then later on, multiple legs living entities, four-legged animal, four-legged living entities, two-legged animal living entities out of those things. And then Varnashrama Dharma. And then Brahmanas, it is the gradual. So this is the different living entities. So why we have got separated? And for example, if we see one example of it, Nalakur and Manigreva, so they have offended just simply being standing naked in front of Narada Muni. Narada Muni cursed them that you become the trees because you do not have any kinds of feelings, even the saintly person comes there. But after some time, after they asked for forgiveness, and they just, okay, Lord will come personally and then he will deliver you. That is one of the example. A person's desire, he wanted to stand naked and no feelings at all. See, he will given a tree body. And then from the tree body, Jiva hi sreshtaha ajivanam. Tatah prana brutah shubhe. So those things, that levels of the consciousness again, he will be put up into out of 8.4 millions according to his level of consciousness. So here in this one, having gone through all miserable hellish conditions, having passed in regular order through the lowest forms of animal life, prior to human birth and having been purged of his sins, he is born. Even though in the spiritual planets, when living entities are existing there, they have got this kind of desires. They have got this kind of desires. I wanted to be like that. When looking at the Lord and his opulences, they are also feeling that I wanted to also enjoy like this. That is a desire, unlawful desires. When they want, as long as I wanted to do it, but instead of I wanted to serve, I wanted to enjoy. That was bhukta bhokta, bhukta bhoga. So I wanted to enjoy, experience these opulences like Krishna. He desires that one, but he forgets that Krishna to be the center of his enjoyment. He forgets that one. Kadati Kurutyamam Yadva Bahu Akratam Atikramam. Just like for a moment, Jaya and Vijay, they forgot. Kadati Kurutyamam Yadva Bahu Akratam Atikramam. They made a mistake. That is the situation. Though they are in the Vaikuntha Loka, they forget to remember for that moment and they have acted in a as a matter of duty. Though they are carrying out their duties, they acted in such the Lord says that Kadati Kurutyamam Yadva, and also uh, Lord desires to perform some activities in this material world. For that one, he chooses a couple of his associates as well. And but if you think like if all are good souls and all are from the spiritual world, why they will come to this material world? That is the only reason, unlawful desires. They wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, forget Krishna. Kadati kuchamam yadho, bahu akratam atikramam. And bhukta bhoga, they wanted to enjoy. They're forgetting that Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Jnatvamam Santindati. Because they forget that Lord is the only enjoyer. But in the spiritual planets, when we are there and looking at the Lord, and Lord is enjoying with all his opulences, with Radharanis and Gopis and so many other things. And we also have got, okay, when I would like to enjoy, I also wanted to enjoy. That makes them to fall into these conditions. Would you like to read this purport, Mataji? So this is also may give some enlightenment on it. Yeah, translation and purport as well.
Okay. Having gone through all the miserable hellish condition and having passed in the regular order through the lowest form of animal life prior to human birth, and having thus been purged on his sins, one is reborn again as human being on this earth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As a prisoner who has undergone troublesome prison life is set free again. The person who always engaged in impious and mischievous activities is put into hellish conditions, and when he has undergone different hellish lives, namely those of lower planets like cat, dogs, hogs, by the gradual process of evolution, he again comes back as a human being. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that even though a person engaged in the practice of the yoga system may not finish perfectly and may fall down for some reason or the other. In next life as human being, his next life as human being is guaranteed. It is stated that such a person who has fallen from the path of yoga system is given chance in his next life to take birth in a very rich family or a very pious family. It is interpreted that rich family refers to the rich family refers to a big mercantile family, because generally people who engage in trades and mercantile business are very rich. One who engaged in the process of self-realization or connecting with the supreme absolute truth but fell short is allowed to take birth in such rich family, and in the family of pious brahmanas. Either ways, he is guaranteed to appear in human society in his next life. It is concluded that if someone is not willing to enter into hellish planet, as in Tamishra or Andha Tamish, Tam, Tamishra or Andha Tamishra, then he must take to the process of Krishna consciousness, which is the first class yoga system, because even if one is unable to attain complete Krishna consciousness in this life, he is guaranteed uh, he is guaranteed at least to take birth in his next life in the human family. He cannot be sent into hellish condition. Krishna consciousness is the purest life, and it protects all human beings from gliding down to hell to take birth in the family of dogs or hogs. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, I had read this. Yeah, I mean, Prabhupada has used this in some other purport also. So, yeah. And that explains the six Goswamis as well. Like they got that opportunity to be born in rich families, working for the kings, Nawabs, and still giving up and taking Krishna consciousness so easily. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
thank you, Mataji. So this one again, this is in the 29th chapter, whatever that was explained, Jivaha Sreshta hi ajivanam tataha prana bhratashubhe. 28th shloka, it seems. Okay, 25, 27. Okay, so here, Jiva hi Sreshta hi ajivanam. Living entities are superior to inanimate objects. Blessed, oh blessed mother. So Kapil Bhagavan explaining that among them, living entities who display life symptoms are better. Animals developed consciousness are better than them, and better than still are those who have developed sense perception. This is starting from the Ajivaha. And then here Prabhupada is giving a very beautiful explanation. And then in the next sloka, Tatrapi sparsha vedibhyaha pravara rasa vedinaha. Tebhya gandha vidasreshtaha tata sabda vidovaraha. And better among living in who have developed sense perception. Those who have developed sense of taste are better. So this we have seen number of times. But here the development of evolutionary process was known long before from the Bhagavatam, which was written 5,000 years ago. So it is again these are there are records of the statements of Kapila Muni. Bhagavatam came into existence 5,000 years ago, of course, but it was in a Sabdha Rupa. Bhagavatam is there all the time, but it in coming into the picture in the literary form 5,000 years ago. And records of the statements of Kapila Muni was present almost in beginning of the creation. Okay, so these are the main things. So here Prabhupada is giving again evolutionary process. It is very beautiful to read, but the time is ticking. So that's why while going through all this, trying to understand each and everything very minute, it is bewildering. At the time, what it means to me, we think create, maintenance, and destroy, create, maintain, and destroy. Birth, old age, disease, death. Birth, old age, disease, and death. Do we need to go through all these things or chant Hare Krishna mantra? Best use of tongue of and sound vibration is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That will protect one from the hands of cruel death. When we are in the safe hands, we don't worry about this creation, maintenance, and destruction at all. Nachakal Vikramaha. Time does not affect us. So there are so many things for us to learn. Like we are in this life, and if I ask, okay, do I need to go and the child is playing with the toy, do I need to research those clay toys very minutely? Why this particle is like that? Why this is made up in the child has done in the shapes of like whatever she wanted to make it. I do not have to worry about those things. We simply with a simple of thought, I do not have to worry about these things. When we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and engaging in Krishna consciousness, we think that these toys of these material bodies of different 8.4 million species that Brahma has created, and then it is his toy. So we just elevate ourselves on top of everything transcendental. It makes it insignificant to us. We do not even think of it. That is the
Yes.
transcendental. That is what the place we enjoy. And then remembering Krishna's pastimes. Every moment of thinking that if someone is acting good or bad, यस्मिन् यदा पुष्करनाभमाय धुरन्तया स्पृष्टदियः पृथग्दृश्यः कुर्वन्ति तत्र हि अनुकम्पये कुरुपां न साधोधये बलात् कृते क्रमम्. If everyone are doing in their own way according to their desires, it is nothing to do with me. I simply just watch if they are in front of me. Otherwise, I do not have to worry. I can simply chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and then hear Krishna Katha, enjoy the life. What is my duty right now? Either as a mother, I cook, I look out the children, and looking the children as the children of Mansaitani Bhutani Pranamid Bohumanayan. Ishvaro Jivakalaya Pravisto Bhagavaniti. The Lord is in the heart of all the living entities. I was given an opportunity to act as a mother and make them as Krishna consciousness. Then life is so happy. We do not have to, when children do something bad things or naughty things, we do not have to get angry about them. It is to relish. Every moment we have to relish. There is nothing good or bad. Everything is for going through. It is to relish only different pastimes. Then I went that on that platform. We do not see that anyone is acting like in the envious level. Everyone are just trying to take part in their own way in the pastimes. A devotee sees that and then he thinks that it is Yasminya, the Pushkarana Brahmaya. Is the Lord energy is acting on these people, so they are acting like a puppets. Of course, sometimes when it comes to us and trying to agitate us, we have to simply tolerate. But until then, we will be happy because outside we are seeing it and the puppets are dancing. When one puppet is coming to us and trying to agitate us, that is the time we have to act. Be tolerant. Titikshavaha. कारुणिकाः सुहृदः सर्वदेहिनः अजातशत्रुवः शान्ताः साधवः साधुभूषणाः. Being tolerant and do as a matter of duty only in the capacity to do good for them only. That is the sadhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. It is so many things are going on. Sometimes it is hard to digest as well. Too much to digest as well. But gradually chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra among the devotees association, we elevate ourselves gradually. Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions or sharings, dear devotees, you wanted to do or share, ask?
So like it's here is like rich family. It's not just a rich family, but it's a devotee, isn't it? There has to be getting birth.
Yes, as Orthodox families like Brahmanas, Rishis, devotees.
Mm. And so other thing is like Kapil Muni just said to his mother, it's very important, isn't it? It's very nicely explain everything.
Yes, yes, Mataji. So
Very
Krishna
important.
explains in the Bhagavad Gita, but it is entire philosophy. But Kapil Bhagavan explains with giving an examples more and more elaborated, and likewise different parts of Srimad Bhagavatam being explained, analogies for us to understand.
Yeah, but this is very, like Kapil Muni said, very nicely, like, for our for whole human being, or, how to live and what to do. And so it's nicely said to his mother. So,
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
mm,
He explains since the beginning, the fetus develops in the womb of mother.
mm,
The baby, whenever he comes to the 7 months at that time, he just lifts his hands and prays to the Lord. Uh, the,
mm,
and then I'm put up into this so much of miserable conditions in the womb of mother. Seti bin mutra, yorghatto. And I'm falling in the puddle of stool and urine in the womb of mother. Please protect me. I could not stay here. My mother is eating spicy foods, salty foods, and sour foods, and it is torturing me. So he
mm,
prays in the womb. He suffers a lot. Dehi anya dehi vipre jatragni nasruk vinmutra kupapito brushatapta dehaha tapta dehaha. And he just counts his months, how many months still I have to live here. Like it again, that is very beautiful prayers of the baby. He praying, he counting how many months still it is 7th month, 8th month, 9th month. Ichenitu Vivistam Ganayan Swamasan. Ganayan Swamasan. He counts how much time still I have to stay here in this puddle of. That is again baby's prayers they give. And Kapil Bhagavan explains from that time onwards and then comes out of the world and then by the uh, Lord's excellency, he forgets everything by the pains that he has come through, and again he is put up raised by the parents who doesn't understand his desires. He is always growing in such a painful conditions later on, and then he carries out the conceptions from his previous life and continues his activities for Upastavegam, Udaravegam, Upastavegam. That way, gradually coming to this again, falling into the hellish condition, he will be taken back to the Yamaloka. Yada prapto Yamadhuto tada prapto Sarabhasa Yamadoto sada prapto Sarabhasa Ikshana. So they by looking at the Yamadotas, he will die and then he will be suffered there, uh, taken to the hellish conditions. There he will be punished and then put up into again in within this 8.4 million species of life at one particular state, and gradually he will be elevating to the human life again. That is what Mataji has read before. So that he explains about the activities of the human beings on the earth. That is the 20, what is that chapter? 31st, 30, 31 31st chapters of third canto. It explains the activities of the human beings. It's very, very beautiful to explain.
yeah, very nicely.
So this is when we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam one, it is a gradual and steady course. When we study that each and everything and then understand this from what we are going through, how we are going through, and what devotees are doing, what other people are doing. One can relish this life. Every moment will be relished while accompanying Srimad when Srimad Bhagavatam is accompanying us. So we live according to the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in our life, whatever we do, good or bad, something, immediately we have got a reference. Srimad Bhagavatam says, okay, this is the thing. This is what the Kapil Bhagavan says. This is what Krishna says. This is what Maitreya says. Then immediately we come to attention, just be steady. Okay, this is what I have to do it. Immediately there is a parallel reference. when we are living, that is life of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then tolerant and be patient. Do only chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra like that. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. So much of so many.
Prabhu, can I ask one more question?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah, so when you were explaining, you were answering my question. I mean, last sentence you said, um, we are all like puppets of like the Lord, and everybody is behaving as He wants them to behave. So in this context, like we, so the people we see in our life, even family and other people as well. So suppose, like, I'm giving a small example. If a child is like misbehaving, so is it his free will, or is it acting as a Lord's puppet, like, or is it for our karma that we are meant to um, see this, that we have done it to, like, some we have given suffering to somebody else in previous life, and so we are getting like that. So is it the free will of the person who is doing that, or is it Lord controlling us puppets because we are meant to suffer that? Could I make you understand, Prabhu? Or is it some?
Yes. So here, two different souls. One, for example, if a family, four different souls coming together, and each one has got a different journey. Though in the outside, we are seeing this is a husband, this is a daughter, this is a son, this is a wife. That's what we see it. But every soul, they have got a different journey, and because of the previous things, sometimes they are doing mischievous things, so they will be punished, or they will be appreciated, or they will be given some kind of reward, something like that. Either you do good things or bad things according to the previous desires. There are desires are uh, I think in a day, in the mind, there are so many thoughts would come into the picture. The mind has got that capacity. And whenever thoughts comes, if it does not control, and if it desires those thoughts, they will all be put up in a sequence, so that throughout his life, he will experience that pains and pleasures. Those things when he was a childhood, he is going through those things. Again, there Kapil Bhagavan explains that one. There is a setup of mother, father, and the relatives, everyone. So are we are in the 29th? Okay, so if we see 31 chapter here, so your questions are answered by the Kapil Bhagavan here. So here the child is praying, and then after that, child comes here. Mithya Mother. Okay, so Soham Vasannapi Vibho Bhaudukavasam Garbhananjiham Shivatasma. Okay, this one. So Kapila, so here, even though the baby was in the womb and praying to that one, and then helplessly he would push it down. So, so propels him forth with his face turned downward so that he may be born. So that is the Suti Vayu, and then he will come, and then suddenly child comes out with a great trouble, downward bills and deprived of memory due to severe agony. And then later on, um, he was just like a worm and germinated from the stool. He loses his superior knowledge and cries under the spell of Maya. Later on, his activities. After coming out of the abdomen, the child is given to the care of the persons who are unable to understand what he wants, and thus he is nursed by such persons, unable to refuse whatever is given to him. He falls into undesirable circumstances. Even though he wanted to scratch his body due to some kind of kandoya, it is some kind of itching thing, he cannot do it. He will simply cry. So that is what it is, itching sensation, and he cannot scratch his body, incapable of scratching. So that is also, and then in his helpless condition, gnats, mosquitoes, bugs, and other things, and whose skin is tender, just smaller worms bite. In that sequence, so in this way, the child passes through his childhood, suffering different kinds of distress, and attains boyhood. In boyhood also he suffers pains, desires to get things he can never achieve, and thus due to ignorance he becomes angry and sorry. This we practically experience this one. It is the journey of an individual soul. Though I am a father, though I am a mother, I do not know the desire of the living, the desire of the son or daughter, what they have been desired previously. So here we could see it. This Prabhupada, he explains here. Would you like to read, Mataji? Maybe some enlightenment we may get it from here.
Yes, Prabhu, here. From birth to the end of 5 years of age is called childhood. After 5 years of the 5 years up to the end of 15th year is Poganda. At 16th years of age, youth begins. The distresses of childhood are already explained, but when the child attains boyhood, he is enrolled in a school which he does not like. He wants to play, but he is forced to go to school and study and take responsibility of passing examinations. Another kind of distress is that he wants to get some things with which to play, but circumstances may be such that he is not able to attain them, and thus he becomes aggrieved and feels pains. In one word, he is unhappy, even in his boyhood, just as he was unhappy in his childhood. What to speak of youth? Boys are apt to create so many artificial demands for playing, and when they do not attain satisfaction, they become furious with anger, and result is suffering. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada
Hare
ki
Krishna. So here, the soul journey, starting from the womb of the mother. He prayed and he was pushed out of the womb, and then he is going through different circumstances, childhood. And again, this is also one stage of its childhood, youthhood, and boyhood, all this stuff. And he is, in one word, he is unhappy. And here, when they do not attain the satisfaction, they become furious with anger, and result is suffering. So that is how we see as a father and mother, the life of a child. But when we were a child, we will also have gone through the similar way. But what is us? What is my position as a mother? And because I also had those desires previously now, that I wanted to adore one nice child, but I don't know the pains of a child. There's some things we may forget. I wanted to become a mother or a parent of a child. Those desires are there, but I do not know what kind of things to ask because of imperfect senses, or tend to make mistakes, tend to cheat, not full knowledge. So when we ask, for example, Yashoda Mata also asked that I wanted to see the pastimes of the Lord. Now is the child. So that one, Drona and Dhara, when they were versus, they asked Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma says yes. So granted. And then Nand Maharaj and Yashoda, they have also seen the Krishna's pastimes. They have experienced all those pleasing times. Again, Yashoda Mata was not satisfied that I have not seen the marriages of Krishna, any marriages at all. Again, in the age of Kali Yuga, so he comes as Venkateshwar Swami, as Tirupati Balaji, so and Yashodamata born as the Vakula Devi, and now every day she says Nitya Kalyanam Pachatoranam. Every day marriage, every day is festival, Akanditotsavam. So that is what is happening, the desire. So, but here Yashoda Mata, Bakula Mata, or Dhara Devi, the desire is always wanted to see Krishna. But here, that is what it is missing. I wanted to become a mother. That is what my desire. I wanted to see this pastime. But missing ingredients is I want to see the Krishna's pastime. When we remember that one, then the asking may be different. My desires may be different at the moment, but still once we become Krishna consciousness, if we see from the Krishna's perspective, then we would see that Ishvaro Jiva Kalaya Bhagavan Pravishto iti. We see the Lord is in the present, in the form of a child, in the As a super soul, he is existing in the child as well, but he is doing different activities to give me either pain or pleasure. What I need to do it? Whether I need to get angry, so do I need to raga dvesha? But Krishna says, leave these two things. Vitaraga bhayakroda manmaya mam upasitaha bahvajnana tapasa puta madbhavam agataha. So here, when we are engaging in the Krishna consciousness in the home, children are always observing us what we are doing. So today I'm very busy day to day. I'm going to office, going to do these gyms and the sports and all these things. My mother is doing. Tomorrow I also have to do it, and they will also take that inspiration. If my father and mother, they are engaging in the devotional service, whatever I am doing, they do not bother about those things, and they also wanted me to engage in the devotional service. They take the inspiration, though they are engaged in the material, either playing or other things. They take the inspiration, but they don't exhibit immediately. When the time comes and when we grown up, our children may be separated, what are the inspirations they have been observing, that parents have been engaging in the devotional service, they engage the children also in the participating in that, they have got no association with the non-devotees, they will take that inspiration, they would implement in their life personally, and then they will give it to their children as well. Though immediately they do not exhibit that they are acting as a naughty children, but they are observing that their mind is recording all the activities of your mother and father. Whether father is tolerant, titikshivaha, karnika, suhridaha, sarvadehinam, whether the qualities are there or not. Though we may think that how can child may understand? He may not understand that, but he would understand. He is recording every activity of your father and mother. They will act and respond with the parents in due course of time in the similar capacity. If a parent is acting with speaking with harsh words, the same child is going to speak with the parent in the similar capacity. That's why Krishna consciousness is very important. If the father is, even the child is naughty, but tolerating those things, father or mother speaking very lovingly and affectionately to the children, my dear child, so you are doing that one. It may be your desire, but this is, it does not help for your health, your mind, your body. Likewise, if we try to explain lovingly according to the Sastric injunctions, referring and see, look at that devotees of Krishna, they will always tolerant, patient, kind, and in such a way we refer it. But child, we are not crossing with the ego of a child, but we are trying to help him. We are accepting his ego and we are trying to help him. That way, child will be convinced. He would not say a single word opposite to us, because we are not speaking according to our own desires. We are not speaking like that. We are speaking in the capacity of a father as a well-wisher of the child. That way we are speaking according to the Sanskrit injunctions. We do not say anything because I like it, because I say you do it. We do not say that one also to the child. Because we need to join with Krishna consciousness, join with the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, join with the Srimad Bhagavatam life. Then the relation between father and mother, as long as bodies exist, after some time body of your father and mother falls down, and but still he is having that references from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, devotees, his life will be successful. But if children are not taking that one, or one of the parent is not taking those things, then there is a mixed kind of life in the childhood. So they will also grow up like that. So that's why parents must be in Krishna consciousness by an example, Acharya, tolerance. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. And thank you, very beautifully explained. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, the both parents should be in Krishna consciousness for, like, for to keep Krishna in the center and flourish as a family. Otherwise, like, we might have the desires, but it's still what I was trying to understand is it's still like a karma, or I mean, because other person's free will, suppose like somebody's wife, somebody's husband is not in Krishna consciousness, no matter how much knowledge, how much tattva, how much uh, association you give, they will not be there. So it's our thing somehow related to our karma, that when you see some families, they're like everybody is in Krishna consciousness doing it so nicely, but if you want to attain, you cannot get, no matter how much hard you try, how much shastra, what, as you mentioned, like to a child, of course you can make them understand, like to be tolerant, and how you nicely explain to a child you can do that, but not to a partner. So I mean, that's like somehow our karma, or their free will comes, and it does not fall in. You do not have, of course we know that we are not the controller, we just servants of Krishna, but we just, I think, only act in our capacity. We cannot try to bring like the whole family into Krishna consciousness, because it's only sukriti and causeless mercy. Like if the whole family is like that, it needs mercy. I mean, we do not have any saying that because the free will of the other person, uh, they intervene, and it's also our karma that we are not meant to have that. So that's how I'm trying to understand, but it maybe, so I was trying to know from you whether it's the right understanding or not. We, like, to adults you cannot make understand after some point. It's very, I mean, you just have to be, as you mentioned, tolerant, pray to the Lord and wait for the right time, maybe someday. But by that time, children are grow up, they're raised, so they do not get the full flavor of how it should be, like a proper Krishna conscious family. I mean, maybe suppose your partner realizes at the age of 60 or 70, but the children, they are raised, that not raised up to the right standard, how you wanted, and then they're gone. So of course the partner understands then, but the children, they did not get the full flavor or the full thing which we could have offered them, or which we have in our mind. It's difficult, like, so that was what I was trying to like
This
make
is
my point. But yeah, it's quite late, Prabhu. Maybe we'll leave it. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
yes, but you perfectly explained. So this is what we day-to-day experience in our lives. This is children's race because again we wanted to give full Krishna consciousness according to child's karma as well. So they are just still they have got desire. So that's why they get mixed of devotion and some karmic things as well, non Krishna consciousness things from the parents. That is their own things. They are out of our control, but still we need to be. Otherwise, sometimes parents are also fighting each other. Just for example, eating. Please eat this apple. No, I wanted to eat orange. Then says, why don't eat apple? So I got this one just for our home. It is very healthy. Or eat this pickle. Eat with this something. Instead of taking this pickle, why you take that pickle? Fight, big fight, gigantic fight, and then slap each other for the sake of pickles. Of course, if the devotee does not take. Even though he's a man, he simply be quiet. Even though if wife slaps him, why don't you eat this pickle? Just simply tolerant. And when children watches that scene, why one person is acting? Why one person is tolerant? But children's always reference. Their childrens know that what is right, what is not right. And children also reciprocate in due course of time with the same parent in the similar capacity. When they goes to the uh, parents, if parent is acting in a devotee capacity, children are always obedient, speak in the very soft and gentle. If the parent is not in a devotee capacity or materialistic capacity, they will also speak harshly and fighting like cats and dogs. It's a that never stops, and then upset at the end of the day. And
Absolutely, Prabhu. Yeah, yeah.
so that happens because again, acting for one parent is a devotee, one parent is not a devotee. Because of that, the flavors are going on. Again, individual soul's journey. And who sees those things? A devotee relishes these things and simply tolerant, patient.
Yeah, I know, but it feels helpless. Like, you do not, we understand how insignificant we are in this life. We do not have any, I know we should not use the word control, but, desire also, if you have good desires also for the family, it does not get fulfilled and you can only pray to the Lord, but you do not see it happening. So it's a helpless situation. That's what it is like. And as you mentioned, yeah, the children do reciprocate. They watch everything. They do not understand everything, and they reciprocate accordingly. And still, you do not have any control. You cannot do anything. Just this is suffering. So that's then we try to associate with our karma that maybe we were meant to get things just half, not full. So maybe that's a prarabdha. So you cannot ask more. So maybe accept it and just be content and just not so much like quarreling with our mind and then move on. That's all best we can do, I think. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that is character building since childhood. As a parent, we need to be model character building. Comparatively, going to the school, sending to the grammar school, that school, this school, I wanted them to become engineer or doctor. That is not the essential thing. Character building as a model, we need to be like the model. Children will learn from us. Once that is there, that character is accompanying with us in our life. If we forget about the character building as a devotee character with the divine qualities, if we forget that one, give priority to the schools and education and the exams and all those things, then that anxiety life will accompany and reciprocate with us in our life. It will disturb us throughout our life as long as we live. And with the money things, money matters, so many things, anxiety stuff, we do not give the priority to that one. Character building. It doesn't matter child is going to pass or fail. It does not matter. His life is already predestined according to his yajjad bhavyam bhavatu bhagavan purva karma anurupam. By his pastimes, by past karma. It is already set. It will come in his way. Either he study intelligent or not. It will come in his way. But character building is essential. यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तद्देवेतरो नरः सयत् pramanam kurute लोकः तद् अनुवर्तते. Pramanam is very important. So we need to live as an example, models for the children. They will follow us. Educate, sending them to the school for the good education to become doctors and to get more money. That is not the priority or important. Character building is the important. Children live with us as long as that character of the children will reciprocate with us. That is essential. Otherwise, they will fight with us day to day.
Yes, Prabhu, I understand. So that is the reason, like which the part of country we live in, like, so for character building only to have good, like, in Krishna consciousness, why do we associate? We associate for good association, right? So simply sending into good school is not for to become doctor or engineer or that. It's for good association, because if we go to the state school here, like where the part where we live in, people come from all sorts of families, like some druggists, some prisoners, this, that, single parent. I mean, the family background is not good. So when these children associate with these children, of course that will make so similar to us also. If you do not get, we are not into Krishna conscious, if we are going to discos every Saturday, Sunday, the children will see that, right? So that will influence, and it will influence us also. So similarly, like for them to succeed in life in the sense as a good human being with a good consciousness, we need to send them to good schools, and for good schools you have to study. Because if you just go to the normal schools here, like the part where we live in, the it's either private schools, I mean, which are like where they take care of everything. But if you cannot afford, then grammar schools, because when there are competitive exams, like in India also, like you have all these technologies institutes and all, and doctors and engineers. The reason being, they take those who are skilled or abled to be there. If everybody is taken, then they'll make misuse of the system. So similarly here also we have these schools, so that you get good association. So
first level of thing is eradicated, like the bad association of the children with whom you do not want your child to associate with. So at least you're able to go behave it. So the reason we send our children to grammar school is to get, so that they do not have behavioral issues, and then in that association they flourish. So our main purpose, if you just if I tell, then the main purpose is not, I do not want what Prabhasha Pranchu want to become in future. We do not stress more on that. We want to stress that they good association of teachers and good association of children. So that is the main thing. And it is, as a parent, it's our responsibility to give them that, because other than the state schools are, I mean, I wouldn't say, I shouldn't be like saying they're bad. The teachers are very good. The infrastructure is very good. But the families they come from, the children misbehave. And we see that in primary schools. So they find it difficult, like, how we have raised our children. They find it difficult, like always talking about Xbox, PS3, this, that, no studies, no nothing. So even if we are not fortunate to send our children to Gurukul and, like all the Krishna conscious schools, but at least the best we could give. So in these schools, they suffer because if they're going for material education, at least that should be the priority in school also. But you see all the children all the time not focusing even on that, even though it's not important. I understand material education, but we do not have an option to give them. We do spiritual as much as we could do, but then major part of the day, 6 hours of the day, there is in school. So that needs to be taken care of in a proper way, so that during this childhood of 15 to 16 years or 18 years, if in full-time education, they do not waste those crucial, like, in India, like if you could follow Varnashram Dharma, then all these men, they used to be learning Shastras till 21st, 5 to 5, from the age of 5 till 25, they learn the Shastras, right? So that is full-fledged. We cannot provide that, but at least the best we could provide. That is the reason. I mean, it's not about like making doctors or engineers. We do not even know what they will become. It's their destiny, and I know it's all predefined. We only just, when you come to a two-way road, whether you go left or right, you have to decide. So then it decides our fate also. So if you have to go, suppose I have to go to Birmingham, if I take the wrong route, then it will take more time. Yeah. So similarly, we are at a fork after primary, secondary, then we have to force them to study hard to get to good school, so that you eradicate the like behavioral issues. That's for me, that is the main thing. I want to send my children to good schools. Yeah, just to clarify. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, that is for the children's career stuff. Yeah, that is material education needed, but yeah, we need to keep them in the good devotees, in good children's association in good schools. Okay, that is helpless condition. We don't have any control, but as much as we can just turn the points. Okay, this is the school we can choose in the best out of the many. That is our thing. But personally, from the family perspective, character building from the home and that side. Okay, so thank you so much, Mataji, for kindly sharing. And thank you so much, all the dear devotees. Dear devotees, if you have got any other things you wanted to share or you wanted to ask, kindly share.
Thank you, Prabhu. Before I sign out, I just wanted to say, let's all say three loud Hari Bols to Prabhu. If like for enlightening and answering so many questions. Sorry, I took so much of the time today, but I mean, I had all these questions in my mind. So yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much,
Hare
Mataji, for asking
Hare
those
Bol.
nice questions.
Hare Bol to all the dear devotees. Thank you so much. It's all yours, your pure soul. So desiring to hear and ask inquiry. We are all enlightening each other, all with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Guru and Vaishnavas and Krishna. Thank you so much.
Like sometimes karma also work, isn't it? Like Prabhupada, when he went this hippie, they're not coming in good family, but there was in their destiny to get this Prabhupada association and all this. Even that their childhood is not good, like how their parents would have, but still they have get that association and gain this Krishna consciousness and become so
Yes.
Maharaj and some of them, yeah. So that is also like something in the karma destiny.
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
And sometimes we work so hard to make, but still it's not working because it's the karma on the children as well. I don't know. Give good association and still sometimes doesn't work.
Yeah, just giving a taste to the children, so how they can achieve the peacefulness in the life. Though they are not engaged in the devotional service, those things, but in due course of time, due to their activities, and they will see the failure in each and every endeavor they are doing, then they will see what is the right. They will have a contemplation as well in later of their life. Okay, so and then they come to the Krishna. Okay, this is Krishna conscious. I know this one. I know this one. And then they'll become devotees later on. So that's why they need to be kept somewhere other, giving taste of devotional service among the devotees association. Okay, so that is all, Shastri. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, if you're all happy, we shall conclude and continue with further japa.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.